Shut it off! Shut it off! Shut it off!
Hey everybody, KULT News back again with another video. Today we are in Marion, Ohio. Actually right outside of City Hall in Marion. Marion, Ohio has some really cool history. First of all, the 29th President of the United States, Warren G. Harding, was actually born just outside of Marion. And he has a beautiful tomb and memorial here where he and his wife are buried. President Harding actually died just over 100 years ago today. In fact, it was 100 years and 9 days ago on, I believe, August 2nd of 1923 is when President Harding died. While we're here, we'll go ahead and swing by his tomb and memorial and show you that. We're also going to swing by President Harding's home where he plotted and planned his presidential election that he won. So, fun fact, Marion, Ohio is named after one of the coolest badasses that I have come across in American history in my entire life. I'm a big history fan. You ever seen the movie The Patriot with Mel Gibson?
I'll fire first to start with the officers. We don't know when or where they're going to strike.
Big fan, love the movie. Mel Gibson's character was based partly on Francis Marion, aka the Swamp Fox. You know when like you're in junior high school and you're watching these movies about the Revolutionary War, and they're all like marching slowly towards each other. And you're watching this going, why would they do this? It's crazy, it's madness. Francis Marion thought the same. Francis Marion is basically the father of guerrilla and maneuver warfare, which basically means not only was he a big fan of guerrilla warfare and fighting the British, he did have some experience in the French and Indian Wars. I'm not going to get too much into the history of that. He did engage in some questionable behavior, but his skills with guerrilla and maneuver warfare in the Revolutionary War was, in my opinion, pivotal to the American victory in that war. So check him out. Go on Google and type in, Francis Marion and check him out. He's a true patriot, true American, and I hope our visit here to City Hall in Marion, Ohio is going to reflect well on the name Marion. Let's find out. Oh, somebody blocking the door. We don't want to hit him. I'm gonna go through the handicap one here. Oh, you guys closed? Oh, I'm sorry, what? You closed at 3 p.m.? I did not know that. Okay, dang it. That's a bummer. What time is it? What time is it? It's 3 o'clock now? Oh, it's because it's Friday. I was like, wait, what? Hey, question for you. Are there, I'm sorry, well, I'm actually with her. I'm like, I thought my partner was in. She's actually, I'm with her, but can I step in here half a second and ask you a quick question? I am doing a little story on Francis Marion, the man who this town was named after, and I thought while I was in town I was going to pop by City Hall to see if there's anything at all in City Hall that's Francis Marion related. Do you guys have anything at all?
Not that I know of.
Let me ask you, my friend, do you know the history of Francis Marion?
No.
Just real briefly, I'll tell you. Remember in junior high school when we were watching like these movies about documentaries about the Revolutionary War and how they're all marching single file towards each other and they're just shooting them? It's like, what the hell? Why are they doing that? That's not how you fight a war, right? Francis Marion felt the same way. Francis Marion was like, he is known as the father of guerrilla and maneuver warfare. He was the guy who was like, we're not going to do that. We're going to hide. We're going to run. He would do these guerrilla warfare attacks on the British, and boom, he hit them and he'd run. It was awesome.
Then you would be like, boom, and then out again.
Yeah. Francis Marion was a badass, and this town is named after him. And in my opinion, I'm gonna send this to them. Mayor, who's the mayor of this town?
Scott Schertzer.
Scott what?
Schertzer.
Mayor Scott Schertzer. May I suggest you, if you don't know it already, look up the history of Francis Marion and put some kind of cool monument of some sorts, memorial, something to the man that this town is named after. I'm thinking, honestly, right there on that wall there or something up there. I really think you guys need to take advantage of the fact that this town is named after Francis Marion because he was a true patriot, a true badass, and your town should be proud to carry his name. That's it. Anyways, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I did not know you closed at 3 o'clock. Is the place across the street closed at 3 too?
I couldn't tell you.
Well, we'll find out. Here in Marryin, they have a beautiful theater there. Look at that Palace Theater. Look at that ticket booth there. Very cool, very cool. All right. Oh, hey. You guys are gonna love this. So, you know, I've had a few complaints about my flip-flops, and so I'm happy to say that we value constructive criticism here. And so because of, you know, a dozen people contacted me and said, you know, if you have big comments regarding flip-flops, I am actually wearing shoes today. See, check it out, look. Boom, there you go. I'm wearing big boy shoes and have socks on and everything. Now, this is the Marion County building. My first impression of this place when I walk in, it's a beautiful place and it smells phenomenal.
It smells like they're having lunch.
Yeah, it smells wonderful in here. So we're gonna find out what the great smell is, and we're gonna educate these good people on the man that their town is named after. One of the worst tornadoes in recorded history, one of the worst recorded tornadoes in history happened in a little town called Xenia, Ohio. At one point, they actually listed it as an F6 tornado, and they later said that somebody said that an F6 tornado is virtually impossible. It would be absolute total devastation, whatever. But it was at one point rated as a F6 tornado and later downgraded to an F5. Here we've got the clerk of court's office in there. There we go. Right there. Of course, there is our friendly reminder there that they're always watching us. It just seems to be a problem when we're watching them. Or recording. You know, I don't want to say recording because they're not necessarily always recording. Oh, we could certainly find out though. Ooh, this is nice. So is this the court clerk's office, or are you guys like the county clerk? The county clerk of court? All right. When you say title office, like car titles? Oh, okay, there you go. All right. I'm doing a little story on the lovely city of Marryin, Ohio. Pop quiz. Do any of you ladies or gentlemen know who the city of Marion, Ohio is named for? Who it's named after? There you go. Boom. Francis Marion, the father of guerrilla and maneuver warfare. Anyways, it's a proud name to be named after. Francis Marion is an American hero. So, yeah, no, go ahead. I'm sorry. Anyways, you guys have a good one. I'll spread a little history and fun around the city of Marion, Ohio. We got driver's exams. Oh, hello. All right. Look at that. Let's see, we got some QR codes here. If you need an Ohio driver's manual, boom, you scan that. There you go. You can download it, digital version. Look out for motorcycles, folks. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, So this is the BMV for Ohio, or for Marion County at least. Make checks be able to blah, blah, blah. You know, see, we don't even need to go in there to see through. They got all sorts of windows in here. There we go. Kind of a lot of glare. Right about now is when I could use one of those polarized lenses. This is kind of a one-stop shop. They got stuff inside here, BMB here. How are you, brother? I'm sorry?
Who you guys are with?
Just me, myself, and I, all three of us.
Okay.
Well, this gal's tagging along too. I don't know who she is, but BMB over here gives you a driver's license in one spot, registration on another.
No!
Hi.
Shut
Hi.
it off!
That's crazy.
You need to shut that off.
I'm sorry, why? Why would I? She's freaking out about it.
You're recording in here, honey.
Okay, can you shut your cameras off?
No, these are for our security.
Oh, this is for my security. This is for my security. It's okay. You're okay. You're okay. I don't want to bother you. I'm just standing out here minding my own business. Yeah, I'm not coming in. I'll stay out here.
Be careful, because they said they're going to call the cops.
I'm hoping they do. I'm hoping they do.
The exam's right next to the...
Yeah, exams here and life is there. No, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah, don't mind me.
What are we recording?
I'm just recording right through there. I'm a big fan of the number 5 Sesame Street thing. Got stuck on an episode of Sesame Street years ago, and it was all about the number 5.
And we're here today to talk to you about the number 5.
And ever since then, every time I see a number 5, I like to video record it, just for a little bit, you know, not a lot of time. And then I bring along this gal here that documents me documenting the 5s. I'm gonna make a documentary someday, and ironically, the name of the documentary is gonna be 6. So.
I'm not buying anything that you're saying.
Well, when the documentary comes out, I think you'll see otherwise. So.
Are you guys alive?
So we can come back in a little bit. I want to actually explore the building a little bit. So we're going to go on a little walkabout here in the building, and we'll come back. There was a gentleman that left here that said that he thought perhaps they were going to call the police on me, which is kind of bizarre. You know, call the police on the man of the camera. I don't quite understand the logic behind that, but you know, hey, some people are, what's the word? We looked it up the other day. What's the word for somebody who's camera shy? Photophobic or something like that? I don't know.
There's a really long, convoluted word that I don't know.
I will find the word for people who are afraid of cameras, and I will post it on the screen here in post-production. But yeah, the gal over here wasn't too happy about a camera. And in Marion, Ohio, these people should appreciate the spirit of Francis Marion and respect my constitutional rights, lest we have another uprising like Francis Marion was involved in. We don't need that. All right, let's go ahead and move on and check out the rest of the building. One quick question. I'm doing a pop quiz everywhere. Do you know who the city of Marion is named after?
Francis Marion.
Boom, there you go. American revolutionary hero, the father of guerrilla warfare. I have not encountered a situation like this yet, where I'm out in public and there is what appears to be some sort of a training class or something or another. It says Marion Can Do. I saw the signs and all that. So it's maybe some sort of a youth program or whatever. Because it appears to be a class full of minors, and I understand that I can walk through there and record, perfectly legal. I understand that. Just because something is legal doesn't mean it's something that I always do. In this case, I am going to aim the camera away from the students and more like up at the ceiling as I walk through this area. There you go. There we go. I have no clue what that is. Kind of curious. I might go back and find out. Maybe we'll run into somebody that knows and we can ask them. Let me ask you a quick question. I'm doing a little story on the man who this town was named after, and I'm wondering, well, two things. Number one, if there's anything in this building commemorating this man, and number two, do you know who that man is? Pop quiz. Francis Marion, Revolutionary War hero. Without him, we may very well have lost the Revolutionary War. He is the father of guerrilla warfare. So there you go. So there's no memorials, monuments, anything like that anywhere in the building that you are aware of to commemorate Francis Marion. I was hoping maybe over at City Hall, popped over there. No luck over there. This is the recorder's office. It's nice and big. Seems very organized. They got a really cool map over there on the wall, but there you go.
That's our century farms. All those farms that are up there are 100 years or more old. That have been, they've done all the research and they've submitted it to the state. So they're officially century farms.
They're over 100 years old. Mm-hmm. Like operating farms that are still in operation? Mm-hmm. Wow. Oh, you know, I was going to ask you guys something. Maybe you know the answer to this. Did you live in Marion back in 1997? Yes. Okay. My understanding is there was a company called like Marion Power Shovel or something like that. The company was based out of Marion, and they were the guys that have the big giant tractors that move along at about 1 mile an hour and take all the rocket ships out to the pad. Very cool. I'm curious, when they were bought up and moved out of Marion, did it devastate the local economy? Yes. Did it employ like hundreds or thousands of people?
I don't know about that.
It employed a lot. Again, we're going into an area with a lot of kids, so I'm going to go ahead and aim the camera up as I walk past the kids. We just don't need them on camera. It's more trouble than it's worth. I just don't need a bunch of... We found the source of the smell. There you go. We're upstairs. I walked into City Hall. I don't know if you guys know this. I have a question for you, maybe. Walk in City Hall, and I'm like, what is that smell? Now we know. Is this a kids thing? Like, is some sort of a kids organization thing? We didn't aim the camera, but the kids always avoid.
This is juvenile court.
Oh, so is this the Marion Can Do thing? I saw signs that said Marion Can Do. I don't know if. So this is like juvenile court stuff, like a social type of thing for the kids. Very good. All right, there you go. That sounds like a fantastic thing. Check this out. There's the source of the smell, folks. It's Buffalo Wild Wings, and that is making the entire building here smell like buffalo wings. All right. Hey, question. I'm asking everybody else, asking you guys too. Do you know who the city of Marion is named after? His name was Francis Marion, a.k.a. the Swamp Fox. The Disney made a series about him back in the day, 50s, 60s, something like that, starring Leslie Nielsen as Francis Marion.
I've had enough of this. Even bloodhounds couldn't catch that swamp fox in country like this. Come with me.
Swamp fox. That's what Tarleton called me. And I'm much obliged to him for the idea, because we'll hole up here by day and we'll strike by night.
And he is the father of what they call maneuver warfare and guerrilla warfare. He had no problem. His attitude was, war is war, there are no rules, and we're going to win this. And we're not going to win marching single file. So they would do a lot of these, punch and run hits on the British and all that. He was known to be a ruthless man. He took no prisoners. If he caught somebody that was conspiring with the crown, it's just execute them. We're not playing these games. And so word spread real quick, don't mess with the Swamp Fox, because, whoo, Yeah, so if it wasn't for Francis Marion, we may very well not have won the Revolutionary War because he used tactics that were virtually unheard of at the time, and that very well turned the tide of. So, very cool person to have your town named after.
That is cool.
Yeah.
They need to get him back and he can clean up the town now. We need the help right now.
Okay, wherever you are. Francis Marion's spirit, if you're resurrected and in somebody else's body, please come back. We need you. We need you.
That's right.
I have a feeling that guy would make America great again.
They take care.
All right. Very friendly. So these are probate. Okay, I'm going to say a little quieter. The kids that were in the other room there are juvenile offenders in the probation program. And it's kind of like a little social gathering for them, having a little party and trying to get these kids to be good law-abiding citizens. So you've got to support that, right? See, this is what I was talking about, this Marion, Ohio can-do thing. I don't know what that's all about, but...
Excuse me.
Yeah, sure.
The kids here, these are all youth.
Yes.
And I'm not sure what you're taping for, but I was wondering if you might consider not posting the children's pictures.
I'm glad you actually asked that. For what it's worth, although I know that it is legal too because they're in public,
It definitely is legal. Definitely.
I appreciate you asking. I actually chose on my own to not aim to. I saw that there were kids in there and immediately said, I stopped, went back, and I explained to our viewers that I will be sharing this with. There's a bunch of kids in the other room here. I'm not personally, I generally try to go out of my way to avoid, and especially in the situation with them being juvenile offenders and what have you, the last thing they need is to have their faces splashed on the internet and being associated with this.
I appreciate it.
We're definitely on the same page, sir. And if I'm going back in here, I'm aiming my camera up as I walk through.
Thank you. I
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
I'm sorry, what's your name?
James. I'm the court administrator.
Pleasure. Oh, here, just give me a little fist bump there. Thanks, James. Yeah, I absolutely understand.
Have a great day.
Yeah, you bet. See, so... And James and I are very much on the same page. You know, when you got kids involved, you just don't, you know, you can. Could you? Sure. Should you? I don't think so. I don't think so. Hey, guys.
I'm literally got
So-
like 10 hours.
So, it's just a general rule of thumb for me. Like I told James there, although I could record kids because they're in public, I personally choose not to. And anybody that has a problem with that, well, you go ahead and make a comment in the comments and say how stupid I am for not aiming cameras at juvenile offenders. I don't need that nonsense. We've only been here for, we have been here, I believe, in this building for about 30 minutes, in case anybody's wondering. We are gonna pop back by the BMB again real quick, take a couple more shots, and then we'll be on our way. I think part of the problem with the heat, you know, and the humidity is really, whoo, it's overbearing. It is overbearing, but it's the heat and the humidity can be rather oppressive. Got a couple sheriff's deputies here. Why do I have a feeling you guys are called on the man with the camera? You weren't, were you? You guys weren't called on me, were you? Because the guy with the camera?
I'm just concerned maybe see socials, but...
Yeah.
As long as you're not looking at the light.
Appreciate it. Hey, let me ask you a quick question, man. I was just going to ask you. Doing a little story on Marion, Ohio, and I'm curious if you two know who Marion, Ohio is named after. When you go home, look it up. Super cool. His name is Francis Marion.
Yes, Sir Francis Marion.
He probably helped us, I mean, made a significant difference and was a major contributing factor in us winning the Revolutionary War. That is a spectacular American hero to have a town and a county named after. So, kind of cool. There you go. The more you know. The more you know.
All right, you guys take care.
Yeah, you guys have a good one. So, a couple of gentlemen from the Marion County Sheriff's Office. It seems that they were indeed called here on the man with the camera, and they were so unconcerned about the man with the camera that they didn't even bother looking for him to find him and have a chat with him. I'm going to say the good folks of Marion, Ohio get an absolute A+ so far, with the exception with the one exception of maybe this little gal in here. She was a little snippy. But other than that, you know what? Hey, we're not all perfect, and you can't expect every single person in town to be perfect. But yeah, she was not a happy camper. Oh man, are we back to that? I'm sorry, ma'am. The police were just here and left, ma'am. Do you really wanna sail this boat again? There you go. Ma'am, and may I suggest when you go home, look up Francis Marion, because he'd be rolling in his grave right now. There you go, see? You can make your own privacy too by shutting the door. There you go, see? Jeannie, well, there you go, see? Jeannie's gonna shut the door and create her own privacy. Francis Marion would appreciate that. There you go. Little history lesson. You have your constitutional rights to photograph anything that you can see in public. If you go into a city hall or a county building, if you can see it, you can record it. And why can you, or why, what do you mean, why what? No, it's just the problem is like, for example, in Korea, in North Korea, you can't take pictures of the police doing anything. You'll be arrested. You'll be jailed, imprisoned. North Korea is not the only country where they jail people for taking pictures of the police. I personally have been hassled by numerous police officers simply for standing there holding a camera in public and in publicly accessible places. I've had cops hassle me on city sidewalks because I'm just walking around and it's like, I'm sorry, then don't have such a cool town, a beautiful little town with a great history, because people are going to take pictures, and if you don't like it, then lump it. Move to North Korea, right? So anyways, there's one person in the entire town, one person has a problem with the cameras in public, and it's this gal that works here in the BMV. Everybody else, pass with flying colors. So anyways, you guys have a good one. Thank you, sir. All right. So there we go. Other than the one gal in the BMV, and I got no problem with Jeannie who came out and shut the door. I mean, she didn't lock it. People are still able to get inside. She just shut the door. Granted, the door has a window on it, so it's not like you can't just take pictures right through the window. Well done, Marion County Sheriff's Office. Well done. You guys getting married, or is this a rehearsal?
Get married.
Right now?
4:30.
Oh, you're getting married today, huh? Congratulations. There you go. Hey, you know what? I actually do a little YouTube channel and have a decent sized following. You mind if I just get your names and I can share with friends, or do you not want that? Well, so what's the couple's name? You guys getting married today?
Yeah.
Right here? You gonna get married here?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, it's a beautiful setting, by the way.
So beautiful.
President Warren G. You know what's interesting? Warren G. Harding, President of the United States, died August 2nd, 1923. So just barely over 100 years ago, Warren G. Harding was president and died, and it was a big freaking deal because he's a good man. He was a good president. So anyway, so what are your names?
I'm John Mark, and this is Sydney.
Sydney.
John, Mark, and Sydney getting married today.
Yeah.
Spectacular. How exciting.
Yeah.
All right, well, my name's Mike Norton. We run a little channel called KULT News. It's a little travel constitutional rights channel, and I always like to, say hi to people in town. We're visiting town today, doing a little story on Marryin, Ohio, actually. This is, you guys look up Francis Marion sometime. The man this town is named after is one badass dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Sounds like a
All right, there you go. So, look at this, man. This is quite a tomb. So Warren G. Harding died just over 100 years ago. Today, it was actually August 2nd, 1923, when Warren G. Harding died. I believe he was replaced by Calvin Coolidge. President Harding was from Marryin, Ohio. In fact, he was born just right outside of Marryin, Ohio. And he was a beloved character in this area. He primarily ran his presidential campaign from his home here in Marion, Ohio. We're going to go visit that home here shortly. But first, we wanted to pop in here and visit President Harding's tomb. You can't get in past these gates here, which there's really no need for that. But you come up here and check it out. He's buried there with his wife. And a lovely little tomb for the 29th President of the United States. Thank you, sir, for your service. So this is Warren G. Harding's home. Warren G. Harding was the 29th President of the United States, and this is a house that he lived in for many years with his wife. And Mr. Harding would do political speeches from his porch while he was running for president in the 1920 presidential election.
He was able to run his campaign. It's how he was able to keep the sanity of that summer. In Georgia's backyard, they built a catalog kit home. It's that beige color home you see. Cost $1,000. They built it in just 2 days. 17 journalists worked in that building to cover the campaign in 1920. Warren would get photographs with celebrities, politicians, journalists. That's how the summer went. Are there any questions about the front porch campaign, the Hardings, anything before we step inside?
How many people did you say were gathered out here?
6,000 to 10,000.
Very cool.
How did people get their results? A telegraph?
What was that?
Election, how did people get the election results?
Warren's election was the first presidential election result announced over the radio. All right, so the next space to see is inside the home. So you can follow me to the front.
For visitor information, go to hardingpresidentialsites.org. Now, I don't have time right now to go in here and do a proper tour, so I'm just going to end this little tour here. Now, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something here. The number one way you can support us, if you want to support our channel, let me tell you, Stacy and I would love to do this full time and literally travel around the country doing it. The only way that we can really do that is to build our fan base, frankly. We need our subscriber count. So if you're watching this, there's about a 70% chance that you're not currently a subscriber to our channel. Be a pal, would you? Go ahead and subscribe. Just click on the little thing down there. There's 3 ways that you can help us, and none of those 3 ways involve you sending us money. You can subscribe, you can like our videos, and you can share them. If you could only do 2 of those 3, I would ask that you subscribe and share. But if you only do 1 of those 3, no, you refuse to subscribe and share, that's fine, that's fine. But then just share it. Appreciate you. You have a good day. And this has been Mike Norton with KULT News in Marion, Ohio. I just need a stamp and a change of address form if you have them. Did I hear somebody say Andy Warhol stamps?
No, John Lewis. That's what.
Oh, John Lewis.
We do have some.
Are there any Warhol?
We got Roy Lichtenstein.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we do have those.
I'd love one of those. Yeah, love his art.
Love his art. Of 20, is that okay?
Oh no, I didn't. You know, honestly, I just need one. Yeah, I just need one.
So as far as like singles, I can do the Chief.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
That'll work.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm doing a pop quiz. Do you know who the city of Marryin is named after?
18. I know I've heard this before.
Revolutionary War hero Francis Marion.
Okay.
You know, in junior high school, you're watching these movies where all the Revolutionary War guys are marching single file to get shot at each other, right? Francis Marion is like, oh hell no. So he's the father of guerrilla warfare and what they call maneuver warfare. Okay. Where they're actually moving around and hiding behind stuff and shooting at the enemy. Francis Marion introduced that in the Revolutionary War and helped us win the war.
That's a pretty interesting fact, actually.
And he loved to go hit the British late at night, hit them hard, and then run. He didn't have a big giant battle. He'd just go attack and get out of there.
Oh, really?
Francis Marion. Badass dude. Helped us win the Revolutionary War.
Did that change of address?
Oh, wait, yes, you did. I put it in my thing here. Okay. Thank you.
You take care. Have a good day.
All right. There you go. Marion, Ohio. we are batting 1,000, with the exception of the lovely BMV gal. You know, she kind of got her panties in a bunch, but it seemed to me that the sheriff's office that responded appropriately and kind of taught her a lesson. So there you go.